Hello and welcome to Earth Angel Readings. I am so excited to be doing this first reading for you guys. Before I jump into it, I do want to tell you a little bit about how I work. So, my readings tend to come pretty sporadically. As such, my videos are going to be pretty sporadic. So I would honestly say, please make sure that you are following along, that you turn on those notifications so that you can hear exactly when I get my messages and you can hear what's going on. I tend to do more of collective readings, and if not collective, just things that I'm understanding and hearing about the world that we are currently living in. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. I have quite a few things to go over today. I also want to sit here and say as well that even though I do have these tarot cards here, this is just more for my hand, so I have something to do and y'all have something to look at. And really these readings, I tend to get them more of like in the morning and just throughout my day, whenever I can go ahead and quiet my mind. Y'all know how it is. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, if you've heard similar things or anything like that. I'm excited to engage with you guys and to finally get these messages out that I have been given for the longest time, and I didn't know what to do with them. And finally I woke up this morning and said, all right girl, it's time to go. You can't just sit on these all day. So with that being said, today's reading starts off from April 2023. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, sorry, I felt like I was screaming out there. So this is from April 2023. So in April, I had a vision that had this red filter, and I saw a pyramid. Okay, one of like not the big pyramid of Giza, but just the small pyramid. And it had fire coming out from underneath it, and then also had like a red velvet rope that was like around it. So kind of when I had that vision, immediately what I thought was that there was something that was going to happen with the elites, as in what we are seeing now. And since then, I've had quite a few different visions. So I'm going to start off with my most recent one. So about last week, I had a vision of, or more so like I saw Beyonce, like she was walking, and then I also heard, and she like was like right in front of me, and she had said, I am going to die soon. And I remember waking up from that vision being like, what? And with that, what I want to say is that like that did freak me out a little bit. But the thing is that death can be by a few different things. Okay. And so death can be obviously literal, right? It can be transformation, as those of us know. But it can also be just more of death of an image. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm gonna take this card too, because that feels like it goes. And that's kind of what I'm feeling when it comes to her. I also want to say too that for the longest time, I have been the biggest Beyonce fan. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer, and she was who I modeled after. I'm sure all of us in the African American community, we all know, like we were all that child at one point, right? Or most of us were. And it wasn't until this year that I finally listened to what a lot of these preachers and things have been saying about her music, saying that it is not right. Now, I understand that there's good and there's positive when it comes to witchcraft and when it comes to those kind of things, but when it comes to her, I don't think it's the positive kind, and it is actually cause for concern. So because of that, I have taken all of her music off of my playlist. I don't listen to her anymore. I don't listen to anything that she's featured on. And to be completely honest, any artist that is associated with her, I'm very wary of. And a lot of times I do delete all of their stuff. So for example, Megan Thee Stallion, we will get to that at another point. But as when it comes with Beyonce, what I'm really feeling with her is that there is going to be a death, but it's going to be a death of an icon kind of feel. And what that means is like the Beyonce that we all knew, that we all looked up to, idolized. You know how she has her hive? that girl, she's fallen hard. And one of the visions that I got was that there was some kind of betrayal that happened that she has done, and that she has done, and it's just been accumulating. Like, she's been accumulating a lot of karma. If you don't know, whatever you do in this life does very much come back to you. It very much comes back to you. And the thing is that when it like God does give us grace for a lot of things that we do, and he does kind of, at some point, he's kind of like, you know what, I see your heart, I see your mind, I see that you're doing the best that you can do, so he will give us grace, right? And he does grant us forgiveness. But there does come to a point where you just start building up a lot of karma, and there's no repentance, and there's no sorrow, or really any kind of apology for the nasty things that you've done to his children, whether that is manipulate them through her songs, or whether that is physically abuse his children, like literal children. And that is part of the feel that I get, is that there is some of that going on there. How deep it goes, I'm not sure, but I know it's not good. As far as the betrayal, it's something internally that's going on. And it's like, I'm sure for those of you who watch TikTok, or who watch like the what do they call them? Like the blind tea, or whatever the heck it's called. Blind tea or something like that. Where they said that like she will never get the Grammys Album of the Year award because her and Jay have pissed off so many people. I do believe that's true. And I believe what's been happening is that people have been talking and talking behind her back, have been talking in dark corners of, business, ready for her downfall. So I do think there is going to be a lot of stuff that's coming in, and I think it's coming in hot. It is coming in hot. And there's gonna be a lot, and it's definitely it's gonna jar a lot of people, and people are not gonna be ready for it. Baby girl is definitely heading to some struggle, and it is all things that she has done herself, that she has called upon herself, that she has called upon herself. Like I said, there comes a point where you stop repenting, and where you lose yourself so much that it's no longer you. I don't know about anybody else, but when I watch her, like even when I watched her at the Grammys, I would get a chill that would run up my spine, because how she looked into the camera wasn't like a normal person looking into the camera. It was like something else was looking into the camera, and was like seeing you as you are seeing her, if that makes sense. So it's not just like, oh, we're watching these celebrities and they look into the camera. No. This was like something else was seeing you as you're watching her. Something else is staring back. Like, I don't know if y'all have watched American Horror Story Asylum, where the main nun, I forgot what her name is, but when she goes, when you look in the face of evil, evil looks back at you. Yeah, that's the vibe that I get directly at it. And it was just very uncomfortable. But I definitely think that overall, there is going to be a death of Beyonce. It could be literal. And I remember when I got that, I did get a chill up my spine. So very well could be literal. I also think, though, that it is going to be like in the material world, and a lot of the things that she has done in the dark, that she's coming to light, baby. It's coming to light. It really is. So that's a lot of what these cards, even though these are just props for me, that's a lot of like what these are showing. She's been taking a lot of hits for a while, but there's gonna be a big one coming. God is not happy with what she's been doing out here at all. So that downfall is gonna be big. Backing up real quick to that vision that I had of that pyramid that had the fire coming out of it. I think it could have been Sloan, or I can't remember if I saw it on TikTok or something, but how they sit here and say, one of them said that when these big things happen, there's definitely an agenda behind it. Definitely, like they're either making room for something else, or it literally is They're either making room for somebody else. And I also think it's this too. I also think that it really is the Lord coming in for retribution, and getting people for doing years and years of witchcraft, for years and years of hurting children, which is bringing me to my next celebrity. This one tripped me out too. So this one is going to be about a model, A+ supermodel, excuse me, Naomi Campbell. When I tell y'all, this girl is a dangerous one for sure. I mean, we all know that she is on Epstein's list, right? We all know that she's in Dubai and that there's those blind items. Oh, that's what it's called, blind items. And there's these blind items saying that she's been into yachting for a while and recruiting for a while. One of the visions that I got about her in the summertime was it was quite frightening. It was this vision, again it had the red filter. And it was a vision of her inside what you would call like kind of like a red room, like, you know, in 50 Shades of Grey, where it's like a big sex room and all that stuff. It was a vision of her in a sex room, but she had the vibe, I'll say it, of like a succubus. This girl has some sexual shit going on. Let me tell you, and even as I'm talking about it now, like I'm kind of like my heart is like beating so fast. This girl has that, and it's like her sole purpose is to fuck up. Just fuck people up who are already fucked up in themselves. Like, you know how Epstein, he went after people who are already hurting? This is her. She is part of whatever allegiance that shit is. And I remember getting the feeling that she very much does have something to do with children, for sure, and not good. Like essaying herself, but then also when it comes to like trafficking and things like that. I don't even need the tarot cards for that one. She's not good. It really like appalls me. Like when I had that vision, I was surprised, which is also why it took me so long to talk about it and to come forward with it, because I didn't want to believe it. Again, this is another person that we looked up to that very much set the culture for a lot of people, and to have it be that she is doing these things, and that really all these people that we used to look up to are not just falling, but we are seeing the true face of them. Honestly, it's quite terrifying, because I remember I wanted to be a model too. I wanted to be all up in the limelight, and to have it be that this is what it is, I seriously thank God every day that I'm protected, and that a lot of us were protected, because you do have to have a certain type of strength, a certain type of discernment to be there. And it seems that a lot of these people who are being put in those positions are just willingly giving it up, and are just turning into these empty shells of human beings that are controlled by other things, and that are doing these nasty things. Like, again, going back to Sloan, like she has said multiple times whenever she does these energy readings on celebrities, that a lot of them, like, they're shells. Like they really, what's the word? Like they dissociate, and something else goes into them, and they do what they got to do, while their soul and while their being is just off to the side watching all of it happen. And with Miss Naomi Campbell, I'll be honest, I think like a part of me wants to say she's a shell, but then another part of me wants to genuinely feel like she is this succubus for sure. She really is out here just all about sex, trying to sit here and get children, people, and just trafficking them. And it's like, it's just so hard to talk about when you think about it. And with this right here, we have the Page of Cups and the Hierophant. I definitely think that there is going to be some unexpected shit that's going to be coming for her too. I don't think it's going to be so much as the downfall of Beyonce per se, but I do think there's going to be some stuff that's coming out that she's definitely going to have to defend, beyond just being on Epstein's list, beyond that. And having the Hierophant here, again, I'm getting the feel of judgment. called judgment is coming for a lot of these stars who have been hurting our children and who have been hurting this world. Okay, a lot of them. So be prepared for that. Now, this next one that I'm going to talk about, this is a big one. This is a big one. So about 2 weeks ago, honestly, this vision, out of all the visions I had, this one, I'm not gonna lie, got me good. It scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. It scared the poop out of me. I had a vision. I was inside a Catholic church, and you know, like, what do they call it? Like the pew, like the table that's at the very top that everyone looks at. Well, right, and like, you know how it comes off into a ledge, kind of like this. So imagine this right here is the table, and then down here's like you have under the table right here, right? So pinned underneath the table was the doll of Annabelle. Yes, I'm talking about Annabelle from the scary movies. So pinned underneath the table was the doll of Annabelle, and she was wearing this black sparkly dress. Obviously that's not what she wears. She usually wears like a white dress that has like red trim and all that stuff. But in this one, she was wearing a black sparkly dress, and she was pinned to the underside of the church pew, I guess is what you want to call it. Coming out of the back, so really quick, like you know how these elaborate Catholic churches are made or look inside? That's what it looks like, right? Coming out of the corner was a priest, and he was coming out, he was dressed in his robes, and immediately what came after that was a demon that came and was fighting the priest. Not fighting as if the priest was winning. No, this demon came and attacked the priest and was like, attacked him. Okay. What that sat here and told me is that we are also going to hear some shit about the Catholic Church. And I believe, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they've already been saying stuff about the Catholic Church, like just as of recently. But we are going to get shit that's coming out of there. And I can't remember where I've seen it either, but I think it was when I was like looking it up online or something. I saw it somewhere. This isn't for me, but I saw it somewhere that was basically saying that the church is also the Catholic Church is very much under the dominion as well of like even these celebrities who have sold their soul and all that, where they're preaching the wrong things and they're not doing the wrong thing. They're not doing the right thing. So judgment is coming on them as well. And I think we are going to hear a lot about that. And if we don't hear about the things that they've been doing, which obviously with all the money that they have, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't, we're definitely going to see a downfall. These priests and people that are up there, like y'all know with like Pope Francis or with a lot of these other popes, when you look at their eyes, same thing again that you get from Beyonce, that you get from Naomi Campbell, that you get from, I think it's Jared Leto. Even Russell Brand, and I know Russell Brand has been trying to convince a gang of people that he's not, he is, okay? Where it's like you look at them and it's not just them looking at you. I know that sounds insane, but that's the best way that I can explain it. There's a lot going on in the Catholic Church itself that is going to come to light. And it's going to be big. It's going to be big. So this card right here for the Three of Pentacles, I know most readers, when they see the Three of Pentacles, they're always like, oh, you know, community, you gotta work with people, da-da-da. To me, the Three of Pentacles does not give community, you gotta work with people and all that stuff. No, that's not what it gives at all. To me, the Three of Pentacles gives the vibe of like hiding in the dark, because like, why are you out here in the dark like that, right? Like you're hiding in the dark and you're like doing some shit you're not supposed to. That's the vibe that I get from this. And this even kind of gives the vibe of the Catholic Church. This is what I feel like is going on there, where they're doing a lot of shady shit in the dark, doing a lot of nasty shit in the dark, having this community, not a good community, okay, having all this nasty shit that's going on. And this is what the church is about. They sit here and they preach to our face that they're about something else. That's not the case. Now, I want to point out too that Christians themselves also have their shit, because you have T.D. Jakes, or whatever the heck his name is, that guy as well. But what is going on with him is also sitting here going on in the Catholic Church too. So it is imperative nowadays to have the spirit of discernment. It is imperative not only to have the spirit of discernment, but to make sure that you are praying and you're calling down protection and you are using your intuition, because this world as it is right now, they're going to be showing us a lot of things. Like I mentioned Beyonce, I mentioned Naomi Campbell, I mentioned the Catholic Church. These are a lot of things, a lot of big things that if something breaks out with these things, it's going to be so big and it's going to block our mind. But you have to realize too that even when this stuff happens, there's a rhyme and a reason for it. Yes, these people are being brought to justice, but there's other workings that are happening behind. So don't get too swept up when all of this comes out. Don't get too swept up when all of this comes out. Make sure that you do keep your wits about you and you pay attention to what is being said, and what is being said, what is being done, and how people are acting. Because some of these people aren't people anymore. They're other things, and they're doing nasty shit that is ready to come to light. And that is all that I had for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, go ahead and put them into the chat. I support whatever energy that you come in with. And thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Have a wonderful day and God bless.